Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into one of those problems that almost every driver has dealt with.
Oh yeah, that tiny little star that suddenly appears on your windshield.
Exactly. The stone chip. It seems so minor, but for drivers and even for shop owners, it's like this ticking clock.
It really is. We're going to give you that shortcut to understanding the real cost, the urgency, and how surprisingly simple the fix can be.
And it all starts with realizing that a chip isn't just cosmetic.
Not at all. What starts as a tiny flaw, it quickly compromises the actual structural integrity of your vehicle.
Okay, let's talk money then, because that's the first thing people think about. What does a fix like this usually cost?
So you're typically looking at somewhere between, say, $50 and $150. The average is probably 60 to 75 for one chip.
Right.
But here's the key thing. If you have comprehensive auto insurance, you need to check your policy right away.
Why? What's the secret?
Many carriers will cover stone chip repairs with a zero deductible.
Wait, zero, as in it costs you nothing.
Exactly. They are happy to pay $60 today to avoid paying, $400 or $500 for a whole new windshield tomorrow.
That completely changes the game. Suddenly, cost isn't even an issue for a lot of people.
If you act fast, it isn't.
So let's break down what that damage actually is. When the rock hits, it's not just a hole, is it?
No, you get these complex fractures underneath the surface. We call them things like a bullseye or a star break.
And that's where the clock starts ticking.
It absolutely is, because things like road vibrations, moisture, and especially temperature swings.
Like we get here in the Pacific Northwest all the time.
Precisely. That can turn that little chip into a giant crack that spiders across the whole windshield in, sometimes, just a few hours.
And you mentioned safety earlier. I think most people assume the windshield is just there to block the wind.
Yeah, that's a common misconception.
Mm,
But it provides up to 45% of the roof's structural support in a rollover.
45%. Wow.
And it's also the backboard for your passenger side airbag. If the windshield is weak, the airbag doesn't deploy correctly, the whole system can fail.
So there's a small window to get it fixed properly.
A very small window. The chip needs to be smaller than a quarter, and you really want to get it fixed within a few weeks before dirt and water get in there and ruin it.
Okay, so if I do act fast, what does a professional repair look like? Am I going to lose my car for the whole day?
Oh, not even close. The whole process is incredibly fast. We're talking 30, maybe 45 minutes.
That's it.
That's it. A technician cleans the chip, then they use a tool to create a vacuum seal right over it that pulls all the air and moisture out.
And that's the important part, getting the air out.
It's critical. Then they inject a clear liquid resin that perfectly fills all those tiny microfractures.
And it's cured with a light or something.
Yep, a UV light hardens it, and the structural integrity is fully restored. You can drive away immediately. Just, maybe avoid a high-pressure car wash for a day.
So beyond the obvious, $60 versus $400, what's the big advantage of repairing over replacing?
You get to keep your original windshield. The factory seal is almost always better than a replacement. That means less wind noise, no risk of leaks.
I see. So the quality is just better.
It is. And a good repair is permanent. It's usually 85 to 90% invisible too.
Okay, I have to ask, what about those $10 DIY kits I see at the auto parts store?
Yeah, they're tempting, but we really warn against them.
Why is that?
They just don't have the tools. Specifically, they can't create the vacuum pressure you need to pull the air out of the fracture.
So the resin doesn't fill it correctly.
Right. You often end up with a cloudy, weak repair. And what's worse, a failed DIY job usually makes it impossible for a professional to fix it later. You've just guaranteed yourself a full replacement.
So when you add it all up, the choice seems pretty clear.
Incredibly clear. Prompt professional repair is safer, cheaper, and way more convenient.
And, like you said, it's often totally free with insurance. For anyone in the NW, specifically around Portland, Oregon, a place like Collision Auto Glass and Calibration works directly with insurance. You can reach them at 503-656-3500.
It raises a bigger question for me.
What's that?
If a tiny chip, one you might not even notice, can compromise critical safety systems like roof support and airbags,
Yeah.
what other minor things are people overlooking on their cars?
That's a good point.
It really makes you think. We encourage you to really look at your vehicle. A moment of paying attention now could prevent something, truly dangerous down the road.